10 key takeaways on trading psychology. Success in the markets result in self-mastery through persistence efforts. Emotions and beliefs can impact trading performance, and it's essential to manage them effectively. Hey there, Tamir from Fibonacci-Traders.com here with the daily market recap. This was a part of the next issue of Fibonacci Traders newsletter. Feel free to subscribe. It's free. Each and every week, one issue to help us understand the psychology behind trading. So without further ado, let's see the charts. Bears came in full power today, as we can see, to the downside, but on the positive side, 406 is holding. 406 looking left, very important level of resistance and support for the SPY. Now it's holding, and we can see that this week, this few days, we have lower highs, lower lows. If this one fails to hold, with high probability, we will see once again this yellow trend line, but now as support, following price using levels and trend lines to manage our risk. QQQ, same thing. Bears, full power. 300 is holding with this downtrend channel, short-term downtrend channel. Each day has its own lower highs and lower lows. 300 with this trend line here needs to hold. Otherwise, we will go back retesting the 292 only by looking left. 292 is a very, very important level, support and resistance. Dow Jones basically moving sideways. Nothing special on the Dow Jones, but 336 needs to hold. It's holding since middle of January as support. It was a very important level of support also during December last year. Now needs to hold. Otherwise, this trend line will get retested. And if this one fails to hold, we have the levels to the downside to manage further risk. IWM crushing to the downside. Now we can see this trend line is failing to hold, so we don't need it anymore. Clean the chart. 188 is next, and this one looking left. Only by looking left we can identify support resistance levels, and the 188 is a very important level of support because it was a very strong resistance during 2022. Failing to hold, once again, we have all the levels to the downside to manage further risk. VIX, this is not good sign for the bulls. VIX breaking above this red trend line, this downtrend line. Now let's see, we take swing low, swing high. We can take also all the way to here, and 22 area is next. Bulls needs to hold below the 22. Otherwise, we have all the levels to the upside. The US 10-year yields still holding below the 367 and below this red trend line, which is very good sign for now for the bulls. We need this one to go back to the downside, breaking to the upside, and SPY and Qs will start falling. Dollar index still inside downtrend channel. Nothing special. We need this one to go to the downside. Oil, same goes here. Trend line holding as a strong resistance for price. 71 to the downside, 80 to the upside. Keep following on oil because it will give us clues for the future. Apple, basically moving sideways, as we can see. 149, 150 must hold. Otherwise, this gap to the downside, the 147, will get filled. 158 is a very strong resistance for bulls. So let's see where Apple is taking us. As a trader, I'm always keeping my eyes on Apple because Apple is the most important name on the SPY and on the Qs. Google, great example of why gaps are like magnets to price action. More than 80% of all gaps will get filled throughout time, and these 2 past days are a very good example. On Google, we had this post-earnings gap, got filled yesterday, and we had this gap over here from 19th of January. It got filled today. Now all we have to do is follow price and use levels. Now the 93 is holding, needs to hold because it's the 618 Fibonacci level of retracement. Let's see if it can hold. Otherwise, 90 is next. Everything you see and hear on this video and on all of my videos on my channel is for educational purposes only. Always do your own due diligence. Never follow blindly anyone on social media, paid or free services. SMH, struggling with this trend line. If you're following me on Twitter and if you saw my previous videos during the past weeks, you see and you know this trend line. If bulls will give up 241 and 231 to the downside are next supports. AMD basically starting to melt down, and as we said on Google and we saw it, more than 80% of all gaps will get filled. NVDA broke above this yellow trend line yesterday, but as we can see, bears are trying to get back inside and below this yellow trend line. Let's see where this week will take us on NVIDIA. And we have earnings coming up February 22nd. Netflix basically moving sideways between the 350 and 370. Once again, earlier today, Netflix tried to break up and above, but then came bears and pulled back to the downside. We do have here a slight, small trend line that helps us to identify a very short term higher lows. If this one gets broken to the downside, 346 and another gap to the downside. Gaps are like magnets. If you see a gap, you know it will get filled, most probably more than 80% chance. Shopify, since it got rejected from this trend line is holding strong the higher highs since August 2022. Each and every time price reached or tried to break above, bears came full power and dragged price back inside and below, and now it looks like 47.50 is next on Shopify. Microsoft, AI or no AI, 2 very bearish days, breaking below the 265. Now let's see if this gap will get filled. And yeah, more than 80% chance it will. The 258 gap. Tesla broke above the 204 with a doji, and after this 100% or more to the upside, doji trend reversal signal, the first of many. Let's see if this will get validated. If it will get validated, pay attention to the downside, 178, and this gap over here at the 145. Meta going inside this huge gap. 153 is the gap. Will it get filled? Let me know in the comments below. What do you think? Meta will close this gap, or bulls are strong enough not to let it happen? Bitcoin flashing to the downside, failing to hold at 22,200. Now 21,700 needs to hold, otherwise 2,800 will be next. Follow price, and these are the levels to the downside for potential support. Ethereum, not surprising, following Bitcoin, 1520 is a very interesting level of support because it held price since, it's holding price since middle of January, failing to hold. 1411 will be next. Amazon, after closing this gap over here, flashing back to the downside, 96.50 needs to hold because, as we can see, it's a very interesting level of resistance. Now, let's see if it will become level of support. Failing to do so, we have all the levels to the downside on Amazon to manage our risk. And as traders, the only thing we have full control of is our risk management. This is all you need to take care of. Risk management. Because nothing else you have control of. Everything else is out of our hands.
So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please hit the like, subscribe, share with friends, and don't forget to check my Fibonacci-Traders Academy. 17 videos, 20 minutes or less on how to become a better trader, technical side and on the mental side. Until the next video, do good things.